I was promoting to entrepreneurs to delegate and all that, but it was so hard for me to delegate my own systems. I was trying to scale and scale it. Imagine that it's like a balloon that I know that it's gonna pop soon, and then it did. Every day I would wake up, I was looking at numbers, I was looking at quotas, KPIs, and all that. I was doing like all the corporate work.
Today's guest inspires me every single day. Her name is Louise Sandoval. She's based in the Philippines and she built up a fantastic VA agency out of nothing.
I was like waking up so early, sleeping late. I was forgetting to like work out or start my morning slow and appreciate having time with my loved ones and all that. So I was just busy building the business.
She has been in business for the last 14 years, and in this episode, she shares the ups and downs and the whole entrepreneurial roller coaster ride.
That was like around 2020 to 2022. It was like long 2 years for me. I'm getting huge in number of team members and clients.
In a place where even internet isn't stable and people have to face a number of weather adversities year after year, she's unstoppable. And besides sharing her story, she also brings her best ideas for you to first get help and how to even get started, delegating, and having someone help out with your business when you are ready to scale. Let's get started. Hey, Louise, welcome.
Hey, Esther, thank you so much for having me on here.
I've been thinking of inviting you to the show for a long time now, but then I had a hiccup in the recording, so it was stalled. And now that I'm recording new episodes, I was like, I hope she says yes. because I really wanted to hear your story for myself as well, because I don't know your whole story, but I know snippets of it. And yeah, I had the pleasure of working with you and the team for I think a year and a half. You actually helped me through a transition period before building my own team, and without you it wouldn't have been possible at all. That's 100% sure. So I'm so glad to have you, and I can't wait to delve into this. So let's get started with the question I ask everyone I have on the show, and that's what is it that you do and why do you do what you do?
There's a question that it's been a while since I was asked that question. And by the way, it's my pleasure to be on this, podcast show. What is it that I do? So right now I identify or I call myself a digital systems architect, and then also a Kajabi expert. I also own a virtual assistant agency here in the Philippines that's been running for 10 years. And I'm doing what I do. It's because the first thing that comes into my mind whenever I'm asked this question, it's because I want to get on a mission where I can provide jobs for my fellow Filipinos here in the Philippines. And second is to create more impact, in the world. As someone who is miles away, with her clients, it's trickling down here in the Philippines. And there is a lot, I know that there's still more a greater why and why I do what I do. But right now I'm sticking to that mission.
How did this whole story start? Was it like you started as a VA and then it grew, or did it have a different start? You are now big in the Kajabi world, but was it always Kajabi? Tell me about those starting moments.
Gosh, that was like 14 years ago. If I can remember, I graduated actually as a laboratory scientist, and my goal was to become a doctor. But then, times are hard. It's expensive to go to medical school, and I was looking for a job, that's an easier entry point for me as someone who didn't have any experience, as someone who was a fresh graduate, and I encountered the opportunity to become a virtual assistant. My first client, who was a pastor in New York, introduced me to Kajabi. I didn't know a thing. I didn't know a thing about the online space. I didn't even know Kajabi. Like, he was the one who introduced me to the platform. I was writing blogs for him and doing some little things as a virtual assistant. And from then on, I fell in love with the platform. I learned the ins and outs, and I saw it grow from the basic features up to what it is today. And then as I started as a virtual assistant, I've learned a lot of skills. and that was like 14 years ago. So it's been quite a while. And then after that, I am here now as a Kajabi expert, and have my own team.
How did the whole team idea come up? How did this whole thing started? Because now it's pretty huge.
Yeah.
When I first reached out, I thought I would be working with you and then maybe a few other people, but it turned out to me in the first few weeks of working together that there were various levels, and you
Mm.
assigned an account manager to us, and they still had a manager before
Mhm.
we got to you. So you've built up something pretty massive.
Yeah, it's a lovely story whenever I'm asked like how did it became like this? Because when I was working with my client, who was a physical therapist in Florida, he had also his own students in his mastermind, and these students would be like, who is your virtual assistant who's helping you all of this? And then he would recommend me to them, but I cannot work for multiple clients. Like it's so hard to work alone, divide yourself into multiple clients, and I don't want to like stress myself out. So what I did was that I trained my sister, I trained my friend, I also like reached out to a few people who wants to work online, and offer it to them, and then it clicked on me like, oh, what if like I create my own team, or like have my own team, and I could just train them and how I do things, and then they get, they know the processes, the systems, and then it went on to birthing this whole company that now
Mhm.
has its own system. So we have our own managers, we have HR, billing, and all that. Because my vision was then again, to help other Filipinos who can't find a job, especially those who have disabilities too. So because my then co-founder was the client who was a physical therapist. He was also passionate about helping other people, especially those who can't find jobs. So because with disability there are visible and non-visible, so like those with psoriasis, those with tuberculosis, so there are the people who can find traditional jobs here, and that was the inspiration. And I could even remember my first hire, Michelle, who is still also working with us. She was on wheelchair, and I was crying when I heard her story and how she
Mhm.
wanted the job, and also how she wanted to work with us. And so that's, that was the start. And then, in during the pandemic, a lot of people went online and needing, services like ours. So we went from 20 team members to 100, I think 110, if I could just remember.
Wow.
It was a lot. It was a lot of, scaling and hiring, training, and we were very busy. But then on it, that was the point where we could just imagine like how what would be we could give more opportunities to people.
Wow, that growth is amazing, but also sounds a bit scary.
Exactly.
Were you able to always manage it well for yourself as a person,
Yeah,
not
yeah,
as a
yeah.
manager, but as like
As
life?
a
You know,
yes,
I'm
as a
big
life.
on in this podcast. I'm big on
Hmm.
life first and building businesses where the business is built around our lives, and
Hmm.
it's not the business that eats everything up and everything revolves around it. Was this
Yeah.
possible for you at that moment?
Well, at that moment, I was so I was so ecstatic. Like I was like, oh my God, this is a vision come true. Like when I was building my company in 2016, I was like, oh my God, what if we could be in a building? Like, what if our office could be, filled with 100 virtual assistants? But then, it was getting to a point wherein I was already every day I would wake up, I was looking at numbers, I was looking at quotas, like I was looking at KPIs and all that. I was doing like all the corporate work that I was spending hours and hours trying to run the business, manage the manage the team, plus also trying to, of course, do the marketing, the sales. So it was a lot for me, and it was ironic because I was promoting to entrepreneurs to delegate and all that, but it was so hard for me to delegate my own systems. So and then it was a lot of overhead expenses, with the offices, with equipments and tools to provide our team. So I was so encapsulated by the vision itself, like just thinking about 100 people, but I wasn't thinking about my life. Even like I was forgetting to like work out or start my morning slow and appreciate having time with my loved ones and all that. So I was just busy building the business, and I was in that phase at that time. Right now, when it went to a point that I was trying to scale and scale it, that imagine that it's like a balloon that it's, oh, I know that it's gonna pop soon, and then it did. So it was really hard for me, and to be honest, I wasn't actually building it around my life. I was building my life around it. I was like waking up so early, sleeping late, and I would get into a mood wherein I was like, is this still for me? Like, is this still my vision? Like, is this still in line with my why?
When was this? Let's say you started, and then how long did you spend in this
In this
whole
phase.
space of just holding space for this amazing vision, but
Mm,
also forgetting about yourself for a while
yeah.
in the process?
Yeah, that was like around 2020 to 2022. That was like a, it was like long 2 years for me. I felt like I felt the the need to like like restructure things. And then also at the same time, we were we getting huge in number of team members and clients, but we were actually losing clients, every month. Like somebody would come in as a client, we lose them after 30 days, because it was like it was a lot to manage already, that we scaled up so fast. And at the same time, I was losing myself. I didn't have time for me to like, work out or even take a break. Sundays I was working, or even like Christmas break I was working for clients. And at to a point that, I had to try, jump in, on clients' projects and all that, just to make sure that, these are all done. So from 2020 to 2022, it was that. But in 2022, I decided for myself, like, I can't no longer like do this. Like, yes, I have that vision, but I was already forgetting about me. Like, where is me in that vision? Like, I had that vision for other people, but I where is me? Like, like I forgot about myself. And then if I cannot take care of myself, I cannot take care of clients. I don't have the energy anymore to work with people, because like I was so drained. Yes, it was in 2022 that I decided that I cannot take this any longer. Like I have to make a change. And especially that things have changed since then. Like after like the world opened up again, some of our clients went back to their corporate jobs. Some of them, decided that the online space is not for them. So it was a lot of change in 2022 going to 2023.
What would you say made you realize that this needs to stop? Like, was there something? Like, to me, it was, first of all, people around me. My
Mm.
husband at some point said that it doesn't make sense for us to live in the same space if we don't even know about each
Yeah.
other. So stuff like that. Also, like, my I had some health warnings as
Mm.
well at some point. And so that's first part of my question, is that like what made you change? And the second part is, okay, besides clients maybe going
Mm.
away after reopening after COVID, what did you change internally inside yourself and inside the company?
Yeah, number one for myself, it was I came to a point that I was actually crying out of nowhere. It was like that. Like it was very depressing. I told my husband that, I sometimes I get paralyzed. Like I can't move. Like I know I have so many things that I need to do, but I was not moving. Like I was just crying and panicking inside, and I was like, I can't imagine myself being like this, for the rest of the years. And also just when my husband was, missing me, like we weren't having time for each other. I The number one reason that where I was here, where right where I was because of my husband, due for his support. And I was, missing out on him, and I don't want him to feel that he's not a priority anymore. At the same time, I was having a lot of health issues. So I was sick all the time. I didn't feel like myself. Like I feel, I don't feel confident. I wasn't even confident in meeting people. I was isolating myself. So it was like those signs were like telling me like, oh, this is not you anymore. Like I wasn't enjoying my life. Yes, I had I had the title, CEO, founder, I had the team, but behind that, there's this, isolation, there was depression. And also part of that was also, it was really hard to manage a large team. It was like almost like, half the job of running the business. Like, you have to deal with different personalities. You have to manage team expectations, onboarding, and also like if a team member will not get stuff done, it's your accountability. So all the stress were pouring down on me. And then we also, it came to a point that these team members were actually not doing their job well, so it was affecting my reputation. And I'm very particular about the work that I do, because I want to make sure that I do good with my clients. We take care of our clients, and if my team members are not taking care of my clients, it reflects on me. So that was the point, the breaking point of my life. I was like, I need to get something done. Like, I cannot imagine myself doing, being like this for a long time. I might die. So like I was like, no, I need to love my life again and enjoy what I do. Because of course, like I realized that, especially when I had my cancer scare, life is so short. Like I need to do what gives me joy, and brings that creativity in me.
You mentioned cancer scare. Are you okay to tell us a little more about that? Because that sounds like the rest of the things are like, okay, yeah, I'm
Yeah,
overwhelmed, I'm
yeah.
feeling depressed, I cry,
Yes.
but the C word,
Yeah.
that's serious.
Yeah, absolutely. It was I think it was 2023. No, 2020, late 2023, 24. I was getting sick all the time. I was having like immune system problems. And then when I got into the hospital, my doctor had me like a really thorough checkup, and I was doing scans and all that, and they found out I have a tumor in my adrenal glands, a size of a lemon. So it was that big already. So it's a very rare condition. And I was incidental when they found out about that. When they were doing the ultrasound for my liver, they found out that there was a tumor in my adrenal gland. So I was like, oh my gosh, am I gonna die? And then I really thought that after that incidental finding, I would be on chemotherapy and all that. I had to do a lot of tests for 8 months. Like I was back and forth in the hospital. I was doing medications, just to make sure that my hormones are okay. Also making sure that it's not that malignant. So there were tests that I have to do. I have to travel by a plane and so much more. It was a lot of work. November 2024 came, and we found out that it was not cancerous. Thank God. And I mean, it was benign, but I'm still like on monitor right now, making sure that I'm not in a lot of stress, because it may, trigger that factor. And also with my family history, I already have family members who are currently diagnosed with cancer. So I was very careful. And me and my husband we've been trying for 8 years to have a child. So right now that has been my priority, because we're not getting any younger. So it's something that in our lives that we prioritize right now.
How have you been able to keep it all running? Like
Mm.
when these things happened is when I started with you as a new client. And I know that there were a few months where
Mm.
we heard from the team that you were taking time off because you were going through treatments,
Yes.
but still everything was working, everything was running.
Yeah.
Didn't you consider like leaving it all, or I don't know, selling it, or like stepping away from it all? It sounds like, oh my god, how was she still able to hold this together?
Oh, yeah. That was actually a conversation I had with my husband at a coffee shop when I had my first scans. I was crying to my husband, and I feel myself welling up right now. I was crying to my husband. I was like, I gave my heart and my soul to this business. And right now we're going through this. And we were talking about expenses already. I was already reviewing like what are the assets of the business. If I'm going to be selling it, how am I going to be selling it? I don't want to leave my clients hanging. I don't want to leave my team hanging. And then what my husband said is that we'll go through the process together. We'll see like what we can cater to. Yes, it did, occur into my mind that I think I need to like sell the business and then, just, take the time off. But of course, I love what I do, Esther. Like I really love talking to clients. I love launches. I love seeing my clients, get sales. All the work that we do, we see online. So those are the things that I love. And I told my husband, like, just give me one more year with this business. And if this really my fate that this is cancer, then I'm willing to like give it up, once I start my chemotherapy. That was the conversation that we had. And I was ready for it. I was trying to get ready. I was preparing templates, preparing systems. I was actually mapping out the whole business system so that whoever buys it or whoever takes over can easily like implement it. I told myself like just give me more time. I think that it's premature to decide, and I don't want to like drop everyone hanging. Like I love my team, I love my clients, and we have clients since 2016. They've been with us for years, so I don't want to leave them. And I know that we do good work. And if it is really my destiny, and I was like, I told my husband, like, if I'm not gonna be here anymore, like, can you can you tell my clients that I love them, etc. I'm giving them this. I'm gonna be scheduling emails for them to
My
send out.
God.
So it was real. There were tears were shed and all that. But I'm just so glad that I'm given another chance in this life. And that's what when 2024 came and I found out that I'm okay. Like it's just gonna be monitored, and we're not getting there, we're not getting to the big C. I was just so happy, and I told myself like this is the sign that I need to prioritize myself. Like I need to build a business around my life, and not I mean like I not my life around my business. It should be the other way around, and that's what I've been trying to build since 2024, since then.
What were the most specific changes that you've implemented since then?
Number one is with our team, we had to scale down. My vision was a leaner team, a stronger and leaner team, because we found out that I was looking at our data because we were seeing a lot of like expenses in terms of payroll. There were team members who were paid like for a full month, but we see that their production was just like 20 hours a month, and then we paid them for a whole 160 hours. So that was like a big overhead for us. There were team members who were redundant in roles. So say for example, like, oh, why are we having two of these people when we don't really have a lot of this type of task? Or this person is not, the job that they're doing is actually not that significant to the company anymore, and we can run it by AI. So when AI came in, and also, reviewing all of our data for a team, we had to let go of people. And then second is those who left, there were people who left already because they ventured into a new career and all that. So, we were okay with that. We support them. We were proud of them. And then we just, let it happen. So I think that they also felt that we were trying to like scale down, especially with the involvement of AI. So we built AI agents, and then we also upskilled our team members who are currently still with us. So we leveled them up because we saw a lot of potential, and at the same time created a more automated workflow. So say for example with our billing or HR or support, so we automated all of them instead of having those roles.
And when it comes to you, like life, what were the changes in your life?
Well, the number one change I have in my life, number one, of course, I've been taking really good care of myself every day. I made sure that I move, I eat right. And the big change that I did was actually I hired a house help. So from
Wow.
from the 14 years that me and my husband have been together, it was the first time last year that we hired a house help, and that really changed everything. Because back in the day, I would have these meetings and have to rush down
The
because I have to,
washing.
yes, wash the dishes, cook, feed our cats, dogs. But then right now I have so much time for to do work and for myself because we hired house help. So she lives with us. So she would take care of the house, the pets, the dogs, cook us like really healthy food. And also, if we like for the last time we went to Australia, we were able to do that because she was taking care of everything here at home. And also me, like for example, right now, like if I have back-to-back meetings or interviews, I already have like food prepared or my coffee prepared. So it was a lot of like change for myself, and also not having to do the household chores because I didn't grow up with house help. It was my first time to have house help, and I now understand that why, people, not just like, maybe in the virtual assistant world, but in real life, that you really need to delegate to.
Wow, that's an amazing upgrade to have
Yeah.
someone take care of that stuff for you, and at
Mm.
the same time downgrading the team.
Mhm.
You mentioned that at some point you were envisioning like offices full of people, and I know
Yeah.
you did have offices. Do you still have them? Does everybody work in the same place, or is this like a hybrid of online connections and office? Do you have to go to an office?
Yeah, right now I've been focusing on working from home, but we do still have an office because here in the Philippines, when you register your business, you need to have an office. So because my business is registered, and we just use the office for trainings, interns, and then also meetings, so in-person meetings. So trainings are important for me because especially with Kajabi or other platforms, they have new updates, and I really love training in person. Second is if we have interns, they can use our office as well because we're looking forward to having interns from schools here in our city. They're providing us with multimedia arts interns. And then third is some of our team members, their internet may be out or power may be out in their area. They can use
Yeah.
our office too from time to time. It's actually challenging to have people on site because they know that there is an opportunity to work from home, especially here in the Philippines. It's so hard to commute. Like the transportation here is the worst. So if you're someone who lives far away from the city, it would take you 1 to 2 hours to come to our office. So that's why I decided for my team that we can go hybrid. You can come to the office, or we can just use the office for trainings, and then we can just all work remotely. Especially those who are moms and who have children. I actually did talk to my operations that I think that it's best for them to work at home today so that they can take care of their kids too.
How do you, and this might not be totally connected to the business, it's more about, it's more for me to understand the whole lifestyle and
Mm.
life in the Philippines. Like
Yeah.
what we hear at times is that there are sometimes so adverse weather conditions
Mm.
that it's even difficult to maintain like someone's, yeah, like the internet
Yeah.
connection, or sometimes they have to leave the house. How does
Mm.
someone manage life in such a place where you might plan everything out perfectly,
Yeah.
and then something hits, whether it's water,
Hmm.
whether it's winds, whether it's
Yeah.
the earth movements. There's
Yeah.
so vulnerable, or so, I don't know, unstable. How can you still feel safe and manage your life?
Yeah, I think that number one, because Filipinos are very resilient. That's why we're able to manage living here in the Philippines. If you know the geographical placement of the Philippines, it's a tropical country. We're very prone to typhoons, to earthquakes. Actually, we just had one earlier today. Sometimes we actually get used to it. If there are typhoons, of course, those mainly affected are, in remote areas, those who are, of course, in the provinces, and they have, less resources. And if you know the issues of the Philippines, why there are floods here, or why it's not controlled, or it's so hard to find resources to prevent those. It's because of our, government, political and economical. But the way that we manage it is, number one is resiliency. I have to be
Right.
honest, like we take part of it. We try to see the brighter side of things with working as a virtual assistant or having a remote team. The way that we manage it too is, of course, we have backups. Like we back then we would provide internet backups for our team members. We communicate to our clients, and since most of my team are located in one city, we know the issues. Like yesterday there was like really, really, it was pouring, it was a bad weather yesterday. We lost power and internet. So we know, like, we all know that, oh, we need to communicate to our client that, oh, we lost power, we can't have our meeting, etc. And if you've been to the Philippines, you know, like, how third world the setup is here. We have posts, and then of course, if the weather is bad, the post will fall down, or there are accidents in the road, so much more. There are a lot of issues, but our team, Filipinos are very resourceful. If we're able to go online, we try to be online. We can hop on to, another city or coffee shop. It's resourcefulness, resilience, and also just, being able to show up for our clients as we manage all through this. And there's so many unexpected things here in the Philippines. It's very common for clients to say, like, oh, you always lose your internet. It's because we have really bad internet, to be honest. When I came to Australia, when I went to Australia, a few months ago, like, I was like, oh my gosh, this is how it feels to be in a first world country. Like, there was like, this is why I know my clients will say, like, oh, that's impossible that you would lose your internet from time to time. Like, it is possible here. So that's why we always have backups. We have, mobile internet and so much more. And the only way that we are able to survive all those is to communicate that to the client. And we're very, very privileged that we have, very understanding clients. Like, they know, how it is, and they see it in the news, they see what's happening over here, and they're very empathetic. And I'm just glad that, we're working with really understanding clients.
Yeah, I know, as now I have some people on the team
Mm.
from the Philippines. If I don't get an answer, I'm checking the news. That's the first thing I'm doing,
Yeah, there
because I'm
must
like,
be
oh
a
my God, are
typhoon.
they okay? As first, besides being from the Philippines, being resilient, I feel that there must be something more to you,
Mm.
because not everyone in the Philippines would build a business like this.
Yeah,
Um, where does this come from? This whole willingness, this whole
willingness.
determination. Is it your family, your parents, or where did you even see that this was, or how did you see this as a possibility in your head?
Um, I think that since I was a kid, I'm very entrepreneurial. Back when I was, in grade school, I would sell candies, bracelets, because I really want to have money. Because I know that with money, I can buy the things that I want. I also seen this with my parents because my parents were never employed. Like, I would see them every day at home. Like, we would have dinner together at home. We would have breakfast, send us to school. Being an entrepreneur also means that things are not stable all the time. Like, there were good days, there were also bad days. Like, especially with my dad. My dad was a farmer, and that also, my parents are also one of my inspiration to be an entrepreneur because I know that I can do so much more. And also, like, I feel I don't want to be someone who works who will be told, where to have lunch, or how to, like, what time should I work. Like, I want to, like, own my time and have my freedom. That's why I became, I love, what I do. And then I'm very visionary. Like, I actually, aside from this business, I also have other businesses locally. Me and my husband run those businesses. And also my husband, like, my husband was my great influence in business because he has more knowledge than me in terms of business. So he was the one who taught me everything with business, with sales, with life. And it sparked on me that I know that I can do so much more, and I'm willing to risk. Like, I'm this really tiny thing in the universe that, and I know that I need to live my life. And also that, inspiration coming from the people that I've met. Especially when I started working as a virtual assistant, I've met a lot of coaches, I've met a lot of business owners, and I can see, like, oh, that's possible for me too. Like, I love seeing their life unfolded, with their business.
Hmm. And what are those other businesses that you are running? I don't think I've ever heard of them. Tell
Yeah,
us a
yeah. I
bit.
don't really like I don't really post about it because, like, most of my branding are virtual assistants, Kajabi, and all
Yeah.
that. But here in Locally in the Philippines, we have a spa and wellness business, and also my husband runs we run a printing business. So he does like printing and stuff, and also AI automation and software. So he does that on the side, but he's more focused on the printing. And my spa and wellness business is running on its own. So I just like manage like the marketing side of it, and and sometimes the operations, but that's already like I've delegated that, so it's just running in the background.
Wow, this is crazy. This is amazing.
Yeah, so
Wow.
that's sometimes I feel like, oh, when people ask why did you become an entrepreneur, I say like maybe because like I'm just insane like that. Like I would always tell myself like, oh, I'm tired, I'm busy, but I love the feeling of like like oh, it's working. Like when you have like when you create an automation, and then and then you see it working, it's that feeling. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my god, I've automated that. It's that
Yeah,
feeling.
I have that as well. And sometimes it's so addictive that
Mm-hmm.
there was a time in my life I had to learn how to even leave my desk because
Yes,
when I
yes.
started figuring it out, it was like, oh my god, I could do this 24 hours. Now I'm in a different phase, but I can totally get that. Okay,
Yeah,
it's one thing
absolutely.
to become an entrepreneur, to
Mm.
build a business, but how did you or where did you learn from being a manager, like managing this many people at
Mhm.
different levels? You are dealing with different personalities, you're
Mm.
dealing, I understand, with different levels of experience. Some people you
Yeah.
have to train, others I understand coming to the job
Mhm.
with some experience. Where did you learn that?
Yeah, I think that I could, if I could remember, it would be in school, because in school, like I would be tasked to be like the class president, or actually like the leader of like projects, and then until college, I was like that, and I think that I really had it in me that I take initiative. I know how to communicate with people, and maybe it's because of having sisters as well, because I have two sisters, and then
Mm,
I have to manage them too as well. So I think that it came from that. And also like I learned a lot when I also became a project manager. So I worked as a project manager too, for a company, when I was just starting out my career. It was for 2 years. I didn't even know a thing, but my husband guided me in terms of leadership and managing people, like because he's more mature than me, he's older than me, so he would give me insights, like, and all that. So that's how I'm able to learn all those things. And even up to right now, like I would tell him like, oh, this is what I'm going on right now with the team and all that. So he would like logically tell me like the right things to do, because sometimes I'm ruled by emotion, but he would be
mm.
telling me what would be the logical thing to do.
Yeah, I know this feeling. Although sometimes I avoid talking to my husband because he's too down to earth for me, and sometimes I
Yeah.
have to just go forward with my crazy ideas. So you have a you
Yeah.
have your private in-house coach.
Yes, I
That's
do.
fantastic.
That's his
Okay,
full-time job.
yeah. We briefly touched on what the team does, but
Mm.
if anyone is listening now and they are like, oh my god, this what Esther described about
Mm.
Louise's team, it really,
Mm.
I'm like, I'm about to ask for help, I'm
Mm.
considering reaching out.
Mhm.
What is it actually that your team does? If I can give a little piece of information from a client's perspective, for me, what was the most amazing about your team was that anything I needed help with, I could just give it to the person who was my
Yeah.
account manager, and they would figure out who would take care of that task. So I didn't have
Mhm.
to hire people for the different tasks. Like one person would create a new Canva document, another person
Yeah.
would build a website, a third person would do some video edits for us, or I don't know, deal with something we had to figure out with Kajabi
Mm.
support.
Yeah.
And it was so easy because when you don't have that, you need to find people. Like, okay, I need a web designer, I need a
Yeah.
copywriter, I need a Canva editor, I need a video editor, and and you had that everything in one place.
Mm.
I just had a place where I would just log the tasks and everything will be taken care of. So to me as a
Yeah.
client, that was the essence of it. But
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
let you tell us
Yeah,
more.
you said it perfectly well. So when I created my team, I was envisioning that we would be like a one-stop shop for clients. That our clients wouldn't have to go from Fiverr or Upwork to find another person to do this and that, and they would have to manage those people. Or if they have to, because there's this notion about virtual assistant that my virtual assistant does everything, but actually it's not true. Things that one VA can't do and the other can. So that was the vision of creating the team where clients can send in different projects, and then they get access to our team, whether it's graphic design, video, podcast, whether it's Kajabi, Go High Level, automation, Zapier, and so much more. We I was very ambitious, in creating like a one-stop shop for clients, because I know what coaches need, I know what clients need, and with my experience as well, I've seen, what works, what didn't work, and also I've trained my team as well on how to work with coaches. And a lot of coaches are very new to the business, that hiring a full-time VA would be so much more in terms of cost and management. When you're hiring a VA, you need to, number one, make sure that you're tracking their hours. You need to create your own project management system. You need to manage the VA. You have to do payroll and so much more. And then it wouldn't work out. And then you have to do the hiring process again. So with all of that, you can eliminate all of that to us. The only problem that you will have is to send us task, and then we'll take care of it. Because we came with experience, we come with systems, and we want our client to feel that, oh, it's so easy to outsource to these people. Like, oh, I know where I can get it done. Like, oh, I need help with a document right now. I can go to my team, and it feels like you have a whole team, but you're not paying for, like, multiple people full time or part time. So you get access to our team, to a really a great team, wherein they already know what to do. Like, you're doing a webinar. Okay, let's set up your webinar registration page, your emails, and etc. A knowledgeable team that you don't even have to train yourself, unless that you have your own platforms.
Yeah, but that was even sometimes I had things that the
Mm.
team didn't have experience with,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I just sent through some training and you took the
Yeah.
time to learn it, and that worked amazingly for me.
Yes.
You mentioned this, like, you don't, because when we say, oh, there is a whole team, you
Uh-huh.
people would be like, okay, how much is this gonna cost me? So how does it work that even someone who might not be able to pay full-time
Mm-hmm.
VAs can get started? How does it start? What
Mm-hmm.
if someone feels like, oh, I really feel I need help, but I don't have a huge business yet. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how it's gonna work out. How can they get started with you?
Yeah, actually we have number one, we have a bucket start a Kickstarter plan at 20 hours a month. 20 hours a month is like 5 hours a week, 1 hour per day. So I'm pretty sure you have tasks that's taking 1 hour of your day, or maybe 5 hours of your week, that you can delegate to the team. Like, maybe it's because it's sending out an email, or adding content to your community, or to your membership, or even editing your podcasts or your videos. And if you're starting out, it's something as small as creating an opt-in page or an opt-in funnel. That can be done within a 20 hours range. So there's so much you can do within 20 hours a month. And what our clients love is that the 20 hours a month, if they're unused, they roll to the next month and get added again to your next bucket. So it gives them the flexibility and the convenience to outsource. So if you're starting out, that's perfect for you, the Kickstarter plan. But again, we actually released a Kajabi Light plan. So this plan is actually 5 hours a month. The only difference is that this is only dedicated for Kajabi help. A lot of our clients just needs, oh, I need a landing page. Oh, I need this automation setup. So we created that plan dedicated for those people who use Kajabi but don't have the time, or they just need from ad hoc support sometimes. So that's $99 a month, and that's for $99. That's 5 hours a month is already a big help.
How does someone become a good client? because I know from my experience, and sometimes it still happens to me, like when I want
Mm,
something for yesterday,
mm,
and as I'm on both sides,
mm.
I sometimes see myself from the outside and I'm like, oh my God, how much I would hate if a client did this to me, what I'm now doing to my team. So what are the things that someone needs to keep in mind when
Mhm.
it's their, let's say, first time to start out with asking for help?
Number one would be, I always tell this, a good communicator. A good client is a good communicator. And when communicating, it doesn't just mean like, oh, like hopping on a call. It actually means giving the right directions. Oh, if you tell us like, oh, I want a website, but yeah, what website? Like give us the details, like give it full details because we're working virtually here. Second is someone who sends quality feedback. Like if we did something wrong, let us know. If we did something wrong, don't just correct it on your own. We wouldn't know that we did that wrong. Like you did not correct us. If we really wanted to be corrected if we did something wrong so that we won't repeat that again. And that's how we build our rhythm together. That's how we build our relationship, right? So that's why we can adjust to your liking, the way that you work, the way that you want to be communicated. Third is, aside from quality feedback, also like another thing would be like, someone who like, gives room for us to grow. I mean, like, yes, we're humans, we make mistakes, but it's understandable in the first month, first 2 months or 3 months. And a lot of clients, they feel like things can be really instant. Like, oh, you're an expert at this. Why did this make mistake? Of course, we're learning together. Like clients who actually work with you, like in a collaborative way, because I've experienced that in the past where clients would just expect me to do it on my own, and then when I ask them questions, they would tell me like, "Aren't you the expert for this? Why are you asking me questions?" Like, I need information. So it all boils down to like really a good communicator and a leader. And I think it's a bonus if a client, is empathetic, appreciative, and of course, someone who teaches us. If you're giving quality feedback, you're already training your VA. So on, how things work for you. And urgency is understandable. I have a lot of clients who say, "Oh, I need this done ASAP," but we just need to communicate that. I know that we understand that you need this ASAP, but to be realistic, this is what we can do, and then this can be done later. So that's what I've been training my team to, like how to communicate. We understand clients' urgency. We understand that we also make mistakes. We just really need to communicate it. And from my 14 years of experience, I've learned that any issue can be resolved if we just communicate well. Because sometimes it's just maybe it's different when it's text, it's different when it's voice, it's different when you're on Zoom.
Yeah.
And also that's why I'm very thankful I have Gerald, who is my COO. Like sometimes if I can't handle so much things, like I tell my clients, can you talk to Gerald, or Gerald wants to talk to you, so that we can discuss that, what went wrong and all that. And that's why I love this industry, because not only that I learned so much more in terms of platform, I also learned how to work with people. I've had a very difficult client. I have, the easy clients, but it's always the difficult clients that teach me a lot of things and also make me appreciate, my other clients. And there's no difficult clients exist because they also teach us to keep up higher standards. And I love that
Mm.
for us too. So that's why, like, I would tell my team, like, it's okay. Like, I know that this is gonna be stressful, but this will teach us so many things.
Yeah, it's like when you are really in a dark place and you are like, oh, one day I will tell about this in a book.
Yeah, exactly, exactly.
How about when someone is in the phase of, okay, I think I need help, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone will ever understand my thought
My vision.
processes. Nobody will be able to do the same. If I
Mm.
have to explain it, I rather do it myself. But then they are in this never-ending cycle of
Burnout.
overwhelm
Yeah.
and burning out.
Well, you just have to learn to let go. Because I was that person too before, like even my with my sales process or a marketing process. I wasn't even letting that go because I know I'm the one who can do this best. But you just have to learn to slowly let go. Maybe let go of the things that are easy for you. Let's say for example, you're someone who's doing your your podcast. The easiest thing for you would be to create your podcast artwork. And I think that's if that's something easy for you, then start delegating that one slowly. Take it by face, because I think that what comes into mind with people is that, oh, I now have a virtual assistant. I'm gonna delegate everything to her, and then you get paralyzed because, okay, how do I delegate all of this? Like, you don't know, like, how do I create training videos? Do I document my processes? So start it face by face. That's why I recommend clients, like, if you want to really hire someone full time, maybe start part time or slowly. Take it gradually, 2 hours per day, 3 hours per day, until that you feel confident. Because a lot of people commit right away to 8 hours per day with a virtual assistant or 160 hours per month, but then they get overwhelmed because they don't like, it will take them a lot of time to train the person, and then it will eat up their time. They get stressed, and they would end up like, oh, I'm just gonna do this my own because I need to train someone. You need to remove that mentality, and if you really want to like make it happen for you, just take it gradually, like, and that's where our model of outsourcing comes in. So like, whenever I hear people saying like that, I was like, that's where our model comes in. Like, you don't have to train our
Yeah.
people. Like, we know, like, just send us the task. But if you really want to hire someone directly, then you have to do all those.
Yeah, that's actually making it so much easier for me.
Mm.
I think I started on a 20-hour plan with you, and
Yeah.
our biggest plan was maybe like 150
100,
hours,
160 hours. I
something
was like,
like that.
oh, Esther is busy.
Yeah, we had Farzana on the team just
Mm.
sending tasks.
She was a busy, you kept our team busy.
Yeah, but I think even at the start, I
Mm.
never had the feeling that I had to explain too much. It was like
Mm.
they just get it.
Yeah.
Of course,
Yeah.
inside the Kajabi world, because
Yeah.
that's what we were
Absolutely.
focusing on.
Absolutely.
Lately, lately, Go High Level has also gained a lot of space in this
Mm.
in online businesses. And I saw you also have an agency, right? And you work for
Mhm.
clients through High Level as well.
Yeah.
What's the ratio now in the total of your work with Kajabi
Oh,
and Go High Level?
yeah, actually at the, last few months of 2025, it was a lot of migration from Kajabi to Go High Level. I did try to have my own like agency set up with High Level, but have to be honest, I gave that up because it was a lot of work. Like, I have to like manage, and also it was hard for me to do like subscriptions because I'm in the Philippines and we don't have Stripe. And it's hard to connect with Go High Level right now. With the ratio, I think that 70% of our work is with Kajabi, and 30% only still with Go High Level. Because I actually posted about this a few days ago, that I advise my clients that if do not migrate if it's just like, oh, like everybody's migrating, I'm gonna migrate too. Try to think about the logistics. Of course, you're gonna transfer all your members, your students, and you already have a really great system working on with Kajabi. And what is the cost of like transferring that? And maybe it's just adding to your expenses. So you have to weigh down the cost, the logistics. You have to build out all of your systems again. And to be honest, like, I've also personally built a lot of websites with High Level the past 6 months. It's so it's such a I posted about this personal development, teaching,
I
because
saw that post.
as someone who really knows Kajabi, built so many pages with it, it's just so hard. Like, it's not what I expected, to be honest. Like, I was speaking to another Kajabi expert. I was like, why are we doing this to ourselves? Like, why it's so hard. And Go High Level has a lot of potential. It's good if you're white labeling it. It's good if you have multiple businesses on it. But I have to be honest, like, Kajabi still has my heart. It's like, I'm I am biased with it because it's what I got used to. It's a premium feeling of creating the pages. But with High Level, it takes a lot of patience and humility to build all those pages. And sometimes you have to like go back and forth with mobile optimization, making sure that nothing of the pages were broken. And if you're someone who is used to like the simplicity of Kajabi, you'll get overwhelmed with a lot of features that Go High Level has. And I'm not saying that Go High Level is bad. It's really great. Like for the price itself, for the features it has, it's really great. It's a saver if you're someone who's trying to save the cost of a platform, but you need to really learn the platform to manage it. And that's what I tell my clients, like, okay, we're transferring you to Go High Level, make sure that you are willing to manage this platform because it's a lot and you need to know like the ins and the outs and etc. And there's so much opportunity for especially if you're someone who wants to white label it. Like it's a good platform to be white labeled, but if you're someone who just wants to launch right away, have an online business, the learning curve for Go High Level would be, it will take you time, but with Kajabi, it's just very short. Like you know where things are, everything's templated, everything's guided for you. It's easy to connect to stuff. It's easy to code some stuff on it. So yeah, and I think that right now with our load of tasks, it's still like around 70% Kajabi. A lot of our clients are still within Kajabi.
Where can someone find you if they are like, wow, this is amazing. This is exactly what I need in my life right now.
Yeah.
What's the best way to reach out
Well,
or follow you, find you?
yeah, the best way to reach out is through our website. It's www.smartvirtualstaff.com. I also have my website. It's www.thelouisandoval.com. You can reach out to me on Instagram too. I'm very active on Instagram and Facebook. And I'm happy. I do discovery calls with clients who are interested in working with us. We can talk more about how our team can be a good fit for you and your business. And sometimes, if we see that we think that you need a more higher expertise, I can also recommend other experts that that are in our community, because there are a lot of amazing Kajabi experts too that can that do a lot of great work that I can recommend. And Esther is that in that group as well.
Yes. You just mentioned your Instagram. You don't just your team doesn't just do Kajabi stuff. They do social media, and lately
Yeah.
they have helped your Instagram blow up, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, they've been doing.
How is that whole thing managed? It looks amazing.
Yeah, they do all of my reels, they do all of my graphics. And the only thing that I manage on my socials are the messages, because when clients reach out or we would chat on social media. So what I do is that, like right now, I'm actually filming behind the scene on this interview. So once that this video is done, I upload it to our Google Drive. They edit it, they find really good stuff on it. I just let their creativity in. They would tell me like, "Oh, this is trending. Can you do this video?" and etc. And then I would just approve. So, I have a team right now that are into the they're into the generation where social media is their game. So like they know how to do social media, and yeah, they've been really good in keeping up with my Instagram and personal brand.
Fantastic. May I have a little request? It's a personal request. Can you do more posts about your cats? I love your
Yeah, I can, but my cats are very introverted. Like if I try to hug them or I try to
They
like take
don't do
pictures of
much.
them, they don't do much. Like my cats only love me when I give them their food or their treats.
Whenever you post, I always show my husband, oh my God, these cats are the most beautiful
Yeah, I
I've
have
ever
four of
seen.
them right now.
Oh, you have four. You kept some
Yes.
little ones.
Yes, I kept them. The other ones, because they got some, they have their kittens too. Like I gave them away to friends. I have them rehomed to friends already because it's a lot to have like so many cats. Even four is a lot for me now. Like that's why I work hard too. Like I have to feed my cats.
Yeah, if not for anything else, if if somebody's listening and you don't have a business, you don't need a VA, just check
Yeah,
out, just follow Luis for the
just
cat
follow me
photos.
and be entertained with my cats and my my humor.
Um, all right. Before we finish, after all this that you have already accomplished, I think there's not much more that there's out there, but I'm sure you still have big dreams. So
Mm.
the question I ask all my guests is, what is it that you dream of for the next 3 years, and where do you see yourself in the 3 years?
I think that I see myself in the next year's time is to be a mother. My dream is to be a mom, because I'm turning I'm not getting any younger. It's been always like, a hole in my heart that I want to fill in. I've been working hard for that. We've been working hard for it. It's been my dream, and I told my husband, like, I think that it's time for myself this time. And if when I say that it's time for myself, I'm trying to fill in that, hole in my heart to have a child. My dream is to have that slow mornings as well, where I'm not overwhelmed. Like right now, Esther, I'm done with, like, the fame, the titles and all that. I just really want to live my life, because after that cancer scare, I was like, oh my gosh, like I'm turning 33, and I know that I've accomplished so much. I know what it has to have and to have none. But right now, I think that what it's telling me is that, I just want to, like, you remember when you're a kid, like, you appreciate the, waking up in the morning, you appreciate seeing, like, lovely things. When I was in Australia, I was really able to, like, see so many beautiful things, and I want to have that feeling every day. Like, I want to appreciate, like, waking up, eating breakfast together with family, or even just having time. And also, I think that it's time. I love, I love, like, just like taking things slowly and not having to rush every time. Like, oh, I have a meeting, or I have like this. So I just want to, have those slow mornings. I think that's my goal for the next 3 years. Things could change, but I know that I could do great things, and I just want to build a life that allows me to be myself and have my creativity on it.
That. And I think those slow mornings are even a possibility right now, hopefully.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I wish that for you, that it becomes reality very, very soon, and that it
Yes.
also brings with itself that much desired new family member.
Yes. Yes,
That
it
will be
is.
amazing.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Louise. Thanks for your
Thank
time, and
you.
thanks for sharing your stories. So much
Absolutely.
new information that I got from you, and I've been inspired by. I've already felt inspired by you, and now even more. I'm super proud of being in the same world as
Uh,
you, and I appreciate having had the opportunity to work with you and the team.
Me
And
too.
thank you for being there for us, the clients, but also for being there for the whole team. It's such a unique world that you have built up, and I hope that many more people in the Philippines will get the opportunity to work with you, because
Ah.
I think you are truly changing lives, not only those of the clients, but those of your team as well.
Mm.
And now it's yours that comes next. Thank
Yeah,
you.
absolutely. Thank you so much, Esther, and for having me. I can't wait for this episode to reach more people, and I hope that they get inspired to that, we can do so much more in life, even if you're like, miles away from clients. There's so much opportunity over the internet.